So doing research into getting children to try new foods is Alex Goss, and he is the product lead at Teach Your Monster, which is an adventurous eating game series. Hello, Alex.
Hello, how are you doing, Paul?
I'm very well, thank you. Could you give us a bit of background information about the game and, first of all, what you're trying to achieve?
Absolutely, yeah. So Adventurous Eating is the new game in the Teach Your Monster series. And it's a game that's all about getting kids excited about fruit and veg. Basically, they have a monster and they take their monster to a number of food parties where they get to explore food with all their five senses. And it's really about allowing kids to develop a healthier relationship with food in a safe, fun way.
Okay. And the research that you did in order to launch the game, what did it show?
Yeah, research was in some ways quite surprising, and in some ways not. So we had 2,000 parents across the US and the UK that we surveyed here, and only 14% said that their child eats 5 portions of fruit and veg a day. Now, we all know that it is a challenge sometimes to get your kids to have 5 portions of fruit and veg a day. However, this percentage was perhaps a little surprising to many. And kind of when we went into the details of why or what are the consequences of this, we're hearing that 83% of parents are cooking basically the same meals every day for their child, and 24% have actually told us that they've given up effectively on trying to get their children to eat more fruit and veg.
All right. And out of everything that all the research that you did, what surprised you the most?
Well, the funny thing is that the challenge of children eating fruit and veg, or trying to get your children to eat more fruit and veg, isn't new, right? It's as old as the hills, and we've always kind of had that challenge to varying degrees over the many decades. The thing for me, which is most surprising, is the number who kind of feel that they have given up. They've tried all ways of dealing with this, whether it's dipping a green bean into a yogurt pot or covering broccoli in chocolate or tomato sauce or something. Don't do that, or don't do both at the same time anyway. But yeah, that's the shame in this, I think, is that parents are finding it a real challenge. And I guess with the cost of living crisis as well, that only kind of gets exacerbated. I think it was 50%. I don't have that number to hand, but I think it was 50% of parents say that they're really concerned actually about the amount of food waste that they have as a result of their kind of child's current eating habits.
Yes, I can relate to that somewhat. As I was saying earlier, I find I've got 2 very young children and then 2 older children, and I find the younger children, it's fairly easy to get them to eat healthily. But once, I guess, the older children start going to school and they start hanging around with other children, and they start seeing the TV advertisements and things like that, around the fast food and all that kind of stuff, it does get harder. I found anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a number of factors that can affect that from what I know. I'm not a food expert. Dr. Lucy Cook, who we worked with, is, but the things that can affect that can be, you're right, it's your exposure, like let's say across the media to food and advertisements and what their friends might be eating, and it's then how that can actually affect your taste buds. If you're kind of used to eating high salt and high sugar, then actually a fruit and a veg can seem less appealing because it doesn't have those powerful tastes, and our taste buds can almost become sort of, I can't think of the right word, but kind of nullified by having those extreme flavors. And there's all sorts of other things involved as well. When someone's a baby, they are sometimes more curious and kind of happy to have lots of fruit and veg. Once there's someone who actually is able to start walking around and making decisions on their own, that's where things can change.
Okay, so if people want to get more information about what it is you do, where can they go and get it?
So you can search for Adventurous Eating. That's the new game on your app store. You can also get more info about us and what we do at teachyourmonster.org.